Hey there. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze some of the biggest tree service companies out in Denver, Colorado. And what we're going to do is we're going to see what they're doing in order to get more customers looking for tree removals in Denver, of course. And we're going to start with John Egart's Tree Service. So you obviously know who John Egart is. He's the one that's getting a lot of calls in Denver. And what we're going to do is we're going to analyze him. So before we do that, we're going to explain why we chose John Egart. And we're going to show you how John Egart is the most relevant one in Denver. So first off, we just typed in tree service Denver, Colorado. Why did we type this in? Because if a tree falls down in your house, chances are you're going to look for someone to cut down a tree. And what are you going to type in? You're going to type in tree service Denver, Colorado. Why tree service Denver, Colorado? Because there's also one in North Carolina. There's also Denver and Philadelphia. In Pennsylvania. So you're going to have to type in Colorado. Okay? So when we do that, we see that we have the ads here. And if you know how to do AdWords, you know how to get a lot of calls. However, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And you could do this and burn yourself and spend a lot of money. However, this is a great way to get customers. So here we have John Egart's Tree Service. And as you can tell, under the ads, we have the local and they show up first. So if you're looking for a tree service company, who you're going to call? You're going to call John Egart. You scroll down here, here's John Egart again. So you're going to call him. So why do we assume that we're going to call these people when they show up? We're assuming that because it's just human nature. You're going to pull out your iPhone, you're going to type this in, you're going to go with the first few people. Why is that? Are we sure that's even the case? So we're going to pull up science and we're going to look up the stats. So this is a company right here, searchenginewatch.com. Search Engine Watch. This article is titled "Number One Position in Google Gets 33% of the search traffic." So what does that mean? This is Google right here. This is a search phrase that customers type when they want to look for tree service. If you had a tree that fell in your yard, you would type in tree service Denver, Colorado. Now, let's go back to the article. The number one position gets 33% of the search traffic. So what does search traffic mean? Search traffic means that it means people who are searching for a specific word. So for example, everyone who types in this phrase and goes to these sites, that's search traffic. That means the traffic that comes to your website from a search term is called search traffic. That means, in simple layman terms, if 100 people type in tree service Denver, Colorado, the people that type in this phrase, they're going to go to some of these websites. That's search traffic, the traffic that's going to your site. Now, based off this article, it says that number one gets 33%. So that means that the first person here gets 33%. That means 100 people show up, 33 will go to this person right here. 33 will go to the first person here, which is Home Advisor, 18 will go to Yelp, and 11 will go to John Egart's for this list right here. How do I know? This data shows it. 33 will go here, 18 will go here, 11 will go here. Here's the numbers specifically. 33 will go to number 1, 18 will go to 2, 11 will go to 3, 8 will go to 4, 5, 6 of them will go to number 5. So you're able to see here that the lower you go, the fewer percentages you get. So by the time you get to page 2, because page 2 is where number 11 starts. They don't even show number 11. However, based off the graph, you know it's like 1%, so that's not great. So in addition to that, we're able to show you that based off all this data, we know one thing. People are only searching off the first page. So what does that mean? Ads. If you know how to do ads, you're able to get calls within 2 days. We know how to get you calls within 2 days if you know how to get ads right. However, if you know how to do ads, you're able to get calls instantly. If you're on this pack, which you're able to do and not be in the lower part right here, where people have to scroll down to find you, if you know how to be in the first 3, you're able to get calls, a lot of calls. And if you know how to be in these top spots, like the top 5, you get a lot of calls. The minute you start getting down here, you start getting fewer calls and you don't make much money. So how do we know that? If you scroll down the article, it says that the first page gets 91%. That means that over 90 people, if 100 people type in, over 900 and over 91 of them will only go on the first page. And 5%, less than 5% of them, so less than 5 of them will go to the second page. So 91 will stay on the first page, 4 will go on the second page. And then as you go to page 3, it just like drops down and you know it's irrelevant at that point. So obviously your goal is to be on the first page. However, on the first page, as we can tell, the top slots get most of the money. So even though 91% are going to the first page, like the number 1 spot's getting like 30 of them anyways, number 2 is getting like 18, and number 3 is getting like 11 of them. And then everyone else starts trickling down. So it behooves you to know how many business owners really don't care about getting this when there's a bunch of customers typing this in, looking for your business, and John Egarts is taking it all. So how is John Egarts doing it? Let's go on to his site and let's analyze what he's doing. So this is these numbers out here. You're probably wondering what are these numbers at the top here. This is a software that I use that in order to analyze websites. So what it's saying that these guys have 20 pages on their website. So the more pages they have on their website, the more authoritative your website looks. If your website looks bigger and better and has a lot more content, Google will see you as a credible source. Essentially, the more information you have on your site, the more legitimate you look. Sort of like how you look and you visit a doctor. You know how like when you go to a doctor, they always talk to you about, you know, why your disease is the way it is and everything about your disease that you should know, that even if you don't want to know about it, they look like an expert because they're explaining your disease to you. That's the same thing with this. They look like an expert. They have a lot of pages talking about trees, so they look like they're an expert on trees. So what you could do is also you could essentially copy them and have 20 pages of your own talking about trees, and your website would do much, much better because you look like an expert now. That's the reason why people like to blog and all this and that, because the blogs make your website look more credible because like these guys are obviously experts. There's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, of course. And one of the right ways to do it is to have a lot of unique content on this page, have a lot of unique content on your homepage. So if you look at their homepage, you see how there's a decent amount of words on this page. It's probably like something like, I don't know, I'd probably guess somewhere around like maybe 300 words maybe. If you were to put like 1,500 words on your homepage, 1,000 to 1,500 words on your homepage, you would look more like an expert. Especially since your homepage is your main page of your site, so you want to boost this up as quickly as possible. Now, and by boost, we mean get it up in the higher search results because it translates into more money. Now, in addition to that, we're also going to look at some other stats. You see that 19 right there? That 19 is how many websites are pointing to this website. So what does that mean? It's essentially other websites say that this website is credible. Some examples of websites pointing to your site are like Yelp, Facebook, maybe even Angie's List. Some other sites that are pointing and saying John Egarts is a great site. The more sites you have that are relevant, the better your site's going to be. And we're going to put it into a tool here called Majestic. So majestic.com is a tool that explains how relevant a site is. So what we're going to do here is essentially what we're going to do is we're going to see how their site stacks up. And we see that their trust flow is very, very bad. And their citation flow is very, very high. So what does that mean is, based off these stats, they have a lot of sites pointing to them saying, hey, they're great. However, those sites are not really credible. It's like, for example, imagine if your neighbor next door said, hey, by the way, I heard rumor that there's witches in the bottom of the creek. Are you going to believe that person? Of course not. That's how trustworthy their links are. However, they have a lot of people saying that, so they have a lot of sites pointing to them, so they look more legitimate. However, you would be able to beat Colorado Tree Service Pros if you were able to get your trust flow to be super high, as in like 10, and your citation flow was like maybe like 11, 9, it would beat out Colorado Tree Service Pros. So if you were able to beat these guys out in both of these arenas, your site would beat these guys' sites, and you would essentially dominate the market. In addition to that, if you knew how to do it with ads, you would by all means own the Denver, Colorado tree service market for online customers looking for it, and you would essentially own the business. Now, you're probably saying, this is great. Who are we talking to? Who's talking to us on this other side? So This is a brief introduction. This is who's talking to you on the other side. This is the website right here. And essentially what we do is our main goal is to get customers to call your phone. Period. That's the whole way. And one way that people are calling today is through online. When people want to type in a search result, tree service, this is one way to get customers. And if you want to get more customers, and if you're struggling to get business and you don't know why John Egarts is taking everything, this video shows you why they're taking everything and how you're able to do it for yourself. What we do is essentially, we know how to get customers through here, ads, through here, and through here. However, we don't want to overwhelm you. The whole point is that what they're able to do is replicatable and you're able to apply it to yourself. And for more information, or if you just don't know how to apply that, that's where this comes in. So you're able to essentially call or email, and we'll definitely want to talk to you. Otherwise, this information is valuable. We hope that you find it very valuable, because this information is able to take you from being down here where no one cares to being up here where people care. And these spots are literally worth hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year by the amount of people who call and the amount of money you're able to get. So we hope that you're able to watch this video. Don't be like the rest of the people who just twiddle their thumbs and they don't do anything and they lose out on hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars every year, and figure out how to turn this around for your business so you start essentially making millions of dollars in revenue every year from tree service.